Our last speaker today is Rana Hassan Mahmud. Rana is a prominent Bangladeshi American, a political analyst, columnist, and community organizer. Rana will speak about the connection between radical Islamists and their connection with the CCP and the Pakistani military. Please welcome Mr. Rana.
First of all, I thank the organizer today and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I pay homage to 3 million victims of 1971 genocide. Today is the Genocide Day. I pay homage to 400,000 women who were raped during that period of time. My respect to the leadership who brought about the independence of Bangladesh under the leadership of our founding father, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Now, coming back to the point, the good thing about being the last speaker is that you can take as long as you want. Okay. So, my topic was the new axis that has been built under the leadership of the poster child of the world, poster child of the West, Dr. Yunus. That axis is China, Pakistan, and radical Islamist, mainly Jamaat, in Bangladesh. I don't want to bore you with my reading of several pages. I have prepared it for some congressional members. But I'll just go through the historical background. Bangladesh was founded on the principle of secularism, and we were the first secular state, I think, anywhere in the world that is secularism was enshrined into its constitution. The very next one was done by India in 1976. But after the assassination of our founding father in 1975, when the military junta took over the power under the leadership of General Zia, Jamaat-e-Islam, that was the genocidal criminal of 1971, they were allowed a political space in Bangladesh. From that point on, they thrived with the patronage from the military governments that ruled Bangladesh for 15 years. And they were funded well by the Middle Eastern funders. There was the first Rohingya refugees that came over end of 70s. So that was the time that they built their training camps in the deep forest in the Chittagong Hill Tracts. During that 15-year time, ISI also got a foothold in Bangladesh. They had training camps to instigate the insurgency in the northeastern states in India. Then there was 1991 election where BNP was just short of majority to form a government. That's why they needed help from Jamaat. And there was a undeclared alliance, and these two alliances found some common ground, that is using religion in the political sphere, namely Islam. Secondly, their common antagonism against India. And third, their common alliance with China. And if we recall, in 1971, when Jamaat was fighting tooth and nail against our liberation, during the same period of time, China was against our liberation too, and they vetoed twice between 72 and 74 against Bangladesh's inclusion into the United Nations. Then there was a brief power shift towards Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, 1996 to 2021, that ISI camps were dismantled, Jamaat's power was curtailed a little bit, and we had progress in economy and in other spheres. Then, 2021, it was an open alliance between Jamaat and BNP. And it was a four-party alliance. They took over power. The very onset of they took up the power, there was an amazing brutality against the minorities and the Awami League supporters, only dwarfed by Dr. Yunus's brutality. So what happened now? What happened now is after August 5th, Chinese ambassador was the first one to meet Jamaati leader at their office in Mogbazar in Dhaka. Then that was in September 2nd. Then in October, there was a delegation from, led by Jamaat Islami, but other Islamic radicals, including Hifazat Islam. They were invited by the CCP in China. After that, there was BNP-led delegation in China. During the same period of time, it is an open secret that ISI chief with his delegation arrived in Dhaka. They visited the very sensitive Shiliguri area from Bangladesh border side. They visited Arakan army camps, arson camps in Cox's Bazar, just to instigate the volatile situation against India. As a matter of fact, during the time that Sheikh Hasina was the Prime Minister, from 2009 to August 2024, Bangladesh saw amazing progress simply because it maintained a very healthy, peaceful relationship with its neighbors. And it was the haven for investment. So what happened, looking back, what is happening right now? Tomorrow is our Independence Day in Bangladesh. This is one of the most sacred days in our history. And the same day, Dr. Yunus is visiting China. And he'll be meeting with the Chinese leaderships, trying to bring some loan and other things. The point is, my point to the congressman here, the Dr. Yunus has been the darling of the West, and he's actually backstabbing the West in two fronts, allowing the radical Islamists with clear and open ties with ISI and global network of terrorism to thrive in Bangladesh. At the same time, he's allowing China's dominance in Bay of Bengal stretching to Indian Ocean area, and how it's going to hurt our national security interest in that region. Our lawmakers, they have to understand. Our administration has to understand. And I thank Ms. Tulsi Gabbard. She understood the potential problems, but this China front has to be addressed. So, in conclusion, what I wrote is the role of China in promoting radical Islamists in Bangladesh presents a multifaceted challenge for U.S. security interests. As China continues to expand its influence through economic investments and political alliances, the potential rise of extremism poses a significant risk not only to Bangladesh but also to the broader South Asian region. Addressing this issue will require a coordinated response from the U.S. and its allies, focusing on countering radicalization, supporting democratic values, rebuffing China's strategic ambitions. While the Biden administration may have facilitated a regime change in Bangladesh, it inadvertently laid the groundwork for increased Islamic militancy and strengthened Chinese geopolitical dominance in the region, extending to vital Indian Ocean areas, resulting in a precarious situation for regional stability. Now, that's my conclusion, but I have something else to say. That's the kind of beginning of the end of the conclusion. I want to address to the US Congress directly in this solemn hall that we are present. You know, about 20 years ago, when Dr. Yunus was awarded Nobel Peace Prize, like many millions of Bangladeshis around the world, my heart teared up with pride and joy, because after all, it's a Nobel. Even though I was one of those very few who knew his scheme, how he was cheating the very vulnerable women, how he was putting them from abject poverty to the level of poverty and keeping them there for the rest of their lives. For last 20 years, he used his grabbing scheme, made it an enterprise first and an empire. He was loved and adored by Washington and Hollywood, even Silicon Valley, London and Paris, Tokyo. Everybody was in his praise, while there was silent tears rolled into the hearts of those millions of poor women in Bangladesh. Now there's a different face that we are looking at. Over last 20 years, what we know now, if we had known back then, I wish he had received a Nobel in physics rather than in peace. And through this organization and many organizations that we are working on to restore the sense in Bangladesh, as a matter of fact, you know, one of the famous quote of Winston Churchill about Soviet Union applies to him. If I paraphrase that, from this very prestigious city, very powerful city, Dr. Yunus is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. To unwrap this mystery, we have to launch an investigation about his financial irregularities that we know is absolutely true, and we have documents. And because he has business entities in this country, and because he has donated fund in certain foundations with political ambition, and because he has made political comments, partisan political comments, being a citizen or non-citizen, that's a gray area still, we have the right to know how he made a Grameen Bank and worldwide empire, how he is utilizing his influence to destroy the lives of the millions in our country and around the world. Bottom line is he has to be exposed. Now, if it comes out very nice, good luck for him. But more than likely, our congressmen, our senators, our administration will be surprised to know the hypocrisy of this guy. And we all have to work, and I will request that we work in tandem, that we request a full-blown congressional hearing on his financial irregularities as soon as possible before he destroys a country of 180 million people into oblivion. Somebody said that it's going to be next Afghanistan. No, it's going to be 10 times worse than Afghanistan, simply because of the density, the magnitude of the population, and the population surrounding our neighbors. So let us work together, and hopefully we will have a hearing sooner than later. And with that, I thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you so much.